Well, welcome back, friends. Thanks for joining us on this video here. What we're going to be working on today is milling up the lumber that we're going to be using for the pine ceiling in the freshly remodeled kitchen. So I'm going to take you along for the ride on this thing here. We're going to be using a table saw, jointer, and a planer to make this lumber appropriate for use on our ceiling here. I went up to a local sawmill and I bought about 300 board feet of 1x8 rough-sawn pine. It's very, very bright. It was cut about 8 months ago, he says, but I picked through the stack and it feels like it was cut earlier than that. It was undercover, and it just feels like the moisture content's much lower, low enough that I feel comfortable using it. Many of you have seen my previous videos, especially the one about the new sawmill. I just got the sawmill, I don't know, a month or two ago, and it's been sitting on a trailer and it's covered in, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet of snow. I'm not quite at the place where I can mill my own lumber yet, so I'm still doing business with this local sawyer, who really is a great guy. He has got an unbelievable inventory, and he's always got everything I need right in stock at very reasonable prices. And the only thing that needs to be done with this lumber for this particular use is it needs to be milled down to exactly what I want. Namely, I'm going to be jointing both edges here, and I'm going to be planing one face. We want it to be a little smoother than it is here for this particular application on the ceiling. So come on into the shop and we'll start planing the stuff and milling it up. Well, welcome back to the workshop. It's been in total pandemonium because of the demolition and the remodel. The old recessed light cans, the old countertops, everything is just in disarray. There's tools everywhere, but hey, that's just how we roll. We've brought in, I don't know, 20, 25 pieces, and we're ready to start milling things up. Many of you know all about the tools in a workshop that are necessary to accomplish the milling of this lumber here. The most important tools that we're going to be using today are a jointer. Some people call this a planer because you can plane with it. This is a 6-inch jointer. What a jointer does is it creates straight edges by using this rotary cutter. This is always a little bit higher and this is always a little bit lower. This blade turns and it reveals, depending on the depth of this table here, it reveals a certain amount of this rotary cutter. When that rotary cutter hits the board, it creates a differential, always guaranteeing that you have a perfectly straight line. When you're dealing with rough-sawn lumber like we are, you can never really be guaranteed a perfectly straight edge. So we're going to create that so that when we adjoin one board next to another, that we have a straight line and there are not wavy cracks that can be seen between the boards. This fence here is able to be adjusted and moved so you can make cuts on your edges that are not 90 degrees. You can go less than 90 or greater than 90. For this application, we want to be exactly at 90 degrees, and the jointer has already been set there by my last project. It's right where we need it. So I really don't see the need to make any adjustments. I'll show you with just a scrap piece of trim board, an old piece of stock, how this jointer works. All you do is you push this work material up against the fence. You fire up your jointer. When you stop halfway through, you can see that differential right there. Let's go all the way through. And what's left is a perfectly straight, perfectly square joint. Now let's run a couple of these boards through and see how they come out. To make things a little bit easier and to hold the workpiece into the jointer, we use this thing called a featherboard. This is just a featherboard that I made out of a piece of maple stock in probably about 2 minutes. We clamp this thing onto the edge of the table so that it holds the workpiece up against the fence. That featherboard is really working out very well. Alright, in just under 20 minutes, the two of us were able to joint both sides or both edges of all of this lumber, make it nice and straight and square and true. Alright guys, now that we have everything all jointed, the next step is to run all of this lumber on one side through what's called a benchtop planer or a thickness planer. And I'm going to show you exactly what that does and what that produces. This is our benchtop thickness planer here. This is a little 10-inch surface planer. What it has is a couple of cutting blades that are mounted on a spindle that spins around very, very quickly. And as it draws the board through the planer feed, it shaves off material off of the top of the board. That's what the waste product is right there. Any of you that have rabbits or snakes or any other sort of household pets, ferrets, gerbils, whatever, this stuff is perfect for them. I have a 12-inch thickness planer and I have a 10-inch thickness planer. We decided just to use this little handheld portable one. It's a little easier to maneuver around this messy shop right now. Let's put a couple boards through and see what happens. This is what the surface looks like before you run it through the planer, and this is the surface after it's run through the planer. It looks finished and smooth and is ready for use in whatever application you have in mind. Well, we got all the boards jointed on both sides and planed on one face. There's a big stack there, and there's another half stack over there. The boards look awesome. We're really happy with the way things came out. And it's amazing how much of these shavings get produced. It's incredible. It's exactly what you find in the pet store. It's kind of cool. So I think we're going to find some pets to give this to. But thanks a lot so much for joining us on this video. I hope it was helpful to you on how to mill lumber using just basic tools that many people have in their shops. And if you don't have these tools in your shop, they're not really expensive. You know, of course, money being what it is today, a few $100s is a lot of money, but for just a few $100s you can get all the tools you need to create really beautifully milled lumber out of otherwise very rough lumber. Just by comparison, one of these boards at your local big box store is going to cost you between $12 and $15 for one of those boards. For the amount of lumber that we have just milled, that'd be $700–800 when I was able to get the same grade, same quality of lumber for $125 plus a couple of hours of our labor. So if you like this video, we'd appreciate you giving us the thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we really hope you will. Just press that subscribe button and join us on this wild adventure that we call the Redneck Homestead. Till the next video, thank you very much.